Good morning. Oh. I know. I didn't time it with the drop, whatever. Good morning. It is 5 a.m. I have been streaming for 8 hours. So those of you just joining, welcome to my nightmare. I have completely, I had Friday off, had nothing to do. So I stayed up all Thursday night, gaming, playing Slay the Spire 2. Those who know, they know. Ruined my sleep schedule, slept all Friday until like 8 p.m. Woke up, streamed. So I've been streaming for 8 hours on Twitch, playing some Pokemon. And yeah, I'm in a delirious state. I'm feeling like it's time to make some mistakes. So don't do what I do today, okay? Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I would love to check the AI teams, Babel. That seems like a great idea. We'll wait for it a bit, though, I think. Let's get some people in here. Who do we have? Who's up with me this fine morning, evening, afternoon, if you're in the eastern part of the world? Carlos Toro, welcome. Chewy, hello. Masaris. We have Peony, welcome. 11 here. 9:30 a.m. comfortable morning time. It is 5 a.m. here, not so comfortable morning time. Yo, what happened? I hear the sound. Big Papa Bob, thank you so much for the Prime. 6 months on Twitch. Sheesh. Last decent time GP for Osses for a while. RIP. Enjoy it while it lasts. 5 p.m. New Zealand, time for a brew. $1 a.m. in Argentina. I mean, you're staying up now. You've committed. 10 p.m. in the US. That's pretty comfortable as well. You cannot compare. Complain. Rye says sleepless night for me as well. Surviving with power naps only so far. I'm on the brew early. Well, I mean, technically, it's like 5 p.m. for me, considering when I woke up yesterday, so. Hi from Toronto. Hello, Modest. Vino time, 3 p.m. in Australia. Yup. 6 p.m. in Hawaii. From all over the world. Damn. Limitless not best in Sprint like in the past? No, Limitless is best in Monaco, I would imagine. But it's pretty good today as well. Alright. Let's talk some F1 fantasy, shall we? I think I'm popping Limitless. I think I've decided. There's no reason to wait. I mean, there is a lot of reasons to wait. You already know them if you've watched my video. If you haven't, I'm probably going to repeat myself today a bunch of times. Bro, what the fuck? People are from everywhere? That is crazy. I know, it's crazy to think about. There literally are people from everywhere in this tiny little chat. This tiny little chat room in a remote place on the internet. There's people from all over this world. It's crazy to think about when you think of it like that. More points in the sprint limitless? No. Well, yes, but that's not what matters. What matters is the delta between your team, either on a personal sort of plane, right? With what your team looked like before versus what it looks like after. But in terms of determining when the like best time to Limitless is on a sort of macro scale, you look at the delta between people who use the Limitless and people who don't use the Limitless. So the delta is what matters, the difference between the points. So if you score 6,000 points in a single race week in a sprint on a Limitless, that's obviously really good, scoring 6,000 points in a weekend. But if the non-Limitless scored 5,990, it's a waste, because you could have scored 400 points in a non-Limitless in a weekend when non-Limitless people scored 300. You know what I mean? What's your Limitless team? Triple Mercedes, triple Ferrari, plus one more. I've not yet decided who that is. For Limitless, you gotta go with max of the McLaren reliability, right? Maybe, but I mean, they also fixed Lando's car, putting in a new, like, electrical system in there. So surely it doesn't strike twice. You know what I mean? If I'm going for a McLaren, I'm definitely going for Lando, because they've just fixed his car, right? Who's to say that that's not going to happen to Piastri as well? Surely Piastri's draws? I mean, I would prefer if they... I mean, true, Piastri still has not had a race this season, which is crazy to think. Limitless, who would you pick as fifth driver? Yeah, that's the question we're all asking. I mean, I think it's Max or Lando, personally. Do you keep Lindblad? Yeah. I don't see a reason to sell Lindblad. What's the budget say? I've forgotten. Yeah, he's fine. Lindblad, 5 points. He should be able to manage that. Why Max is way off the McLaren pace? Because Max just gets so many overtakes. So the argument between Max versus the McLaren boys is like, will the McLaren boys actually challenge for like a podium? Or are they gonna be, P5, P6? Because if they are, and if they qualify there, and then, like, say they qualify ahead of the Ferraris, because it's looking like they are slightly faster over one lap compared to Ferrari, but then Ferrari has better race pace and passed them, the McLaren boys on a P5, P6 finish after dropping 2 positions, maybe not getting that many overtakes, that's not a great result, you know what I mean? Whereas a Max Verstappen who qualifies P10, overtakes 14 people, then drops back and overtakes 14 people again, he just scores 40 points for fun if he doesn't DNF. You know what I mean? Max drops 8 spots off the... Yeah, Max drops 8 spots off the launch and then overtakes all those 8 people to get the overtakes. So that's why Max, you know what I mean? Because he's Max. Max is not even close. Sure. But Max in the midfield is still top of the midfield. And top of the midfield is pretty good with a lot of overtakes. Do we get another Writer Sims usually? Yeah, we usually get one, but I don't know if we're getting one today. Miggy, welcome to Twitch. First time chatter. Piastri being the 5th after 0 laps in the last 2 races would be a wild bet. Aussie bias has me wanting to do it. Could work out. I'm slightly Lando biased at the moment. Could Bortoleto make 24 points? Very, very unlikely. He would need an absolute blinder. And the Audi look fast, which is good for like a 10-pointer. It's bad for a 24-pointer. Audi look the best of the rest right now. Obviously behind Max, but Audi looked like the 5th fastest team. Yo, what's up, Devil, on Twitch? Yeah, the Audis do look great, but the Audis looking great and like maybe being there for a P7, P8 finish is probably good enough for like a 10-pointer. But to get a 24-pointer, you need to do something special in F1 Fantasy. You need like a P13 up to like a P, 8 with a bunch of overtakes in there. Kind of like what Behrman's doing every single race for no reason. Hulk for Miami seems good. Yeah, Hulk for Miami is probably going to be in everyone's team, I would imagine. Because once that -20 is gone, the 7-pointer is decent, and then if he scores a, like a 10-pointer now, he's going to go down to 5.0 million. Be a great enabler. I'd be very surprised. Unless Hulk DNFs tomorrow, I'd be very surprised if I don't own him in Miami, actually. Just check Merton Ferrari's requirement to rise. What are these thresholds? Yeah. Like, yeah. the game is not, like, this is not functional. Me personally just cannot accept using Limitless this early. So if you don't want to use Limitless, what should we do? I actually think you should rethink that line of thinking, because Limitless is better to use early than late. But if you're not using Limitless today, you're using it in Monaco most likely. And then what you do if you don't Limitless today, you set up your team so that you have 3 free transfers in Miami, because there's going to be a lot of upgrades in Miami, and that could really, you know, shake up the grid drastically. So if you're not using Limitless, make sure you save a transfer for Miami and not change your team a whole lot. Just like make one move, switching one driver for another to maybe target some budget rises or some points, you know, some upside potential. If you are in a positive growth state right now, how do you think Limitless now versus Monaco, and unknown for Monaco given everything? Yeah, that's the question I've been asking myself this entire week. And for me, it's if I did not have the team that I had that looks really likely for price increases, I would put it off for Monaco. I think Monaco is going to be a great Limitless play. Like, Monaco is going to be insane for Limitless. You know what I mean? Monaco, it's after 2 sprint weekends, Miami, Canada, and then Monaco, meaning that the points are going to be really, really inflated like they are right now, you know? There's going to be a lot of price increases likely to happen in Monaco, or at least the threshold for rising in price is going to be very, very low. So Monaco looks great for that. There's probably not going to be a lot of overtakes, whereas, you know, there are overtakes literally everywhere else because of the new regs. So overtakes are going to be low, which means that people who aren't limitlessing are going to score really, really badly with bad drivers, right? And then it's also quite early in the season. There's a lot speaking for Monaco, but the unknown is obviously, you know, what you know now versus what you don't know that's going to happen after Canada. And because my team looks so good for budget rises, I'm going to use it now. And I think Japan last year was... it was either the best or the second best Limitless Delta all year, right? When we compare across the season. So Japan was really, really good last year. It was at least top 3. I don't remember if Monaco was above it or not. I think Saudi was better. But Saudi is obviously not happening this year. So we are definitely using Limitless. That's not the debate, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm using Limitless. I've decided. The debate for me is who my 5th driver is. Should I Limitless if I have Bortoleto on my team? Audi's looking great. I mean, Bortoletto's not reaching 24 points, okay? So if you're Limitlessing, you're doing that, acknowledging that Bortoletto's going to drop in price. I personally, if I had Bortoletto in my team, which I do on my team 3, I'm not Limitlessing my team 3. I'm selling Bortoletto to build a budget game and then using Limitless in Monaco. Because I do think Limitless in Monaco is really, really good still. So I don't think it's a must to Limitless today. I just think it's a good play if your team looks good. So I personally would not Limitless with Bortoletto in my team. But if you are getting FOMO from the Limitless plays, you can definitely play it today. Just, you know, if you keep Bortoletto and don't sell him now, you are acknowledging that he is a long-term hold and you're holding him across the last, like, 2 or 3 races when he's dropping in price, and then hoping that he goes up after that. That is what you're doing. You're acknowledging that you're keeping Bortoletto for a long time and not selling him to realize that that price drop is real. Is it possible for Limo to get 5 points? Yes, for sure. I think everything from here above is possible. I think Gasly's going to struggle for 15. He can definitely reach above 4. But I think 7 points is definitely possible for Sainz. So these are the assets, these are the cheap assets that are likely to rise in price. I think Gasly's likely to rise in price also. Obviously, this is bar, you know, if they DNF, they're not going to rise in price. So anytime I speak of price increases, just assume I mean, I think they reach this if they don't DNF. Because that's usually the case, right? So I think Gasly's increasing 0.2. I think Sainz has a chance for a 0.6, but it's going to be difficult. Lindblad 5 points can definitely reach that. I think if we look at the percentage, F1 Fantasy Tools put it at a 33% chance at him increasing. No, this is the Delta. Sorry, they put him at a 54% chance of increasing in price, and a 26% chance of increasing 0.2. So that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good number right there. So, thoughts on 3x Haas? I am on 3x Haas. I'm just limitlessing to get the points from the premium constructors. I think it's good for budget, and you're definitely getting bailed out from Haas in the first 2 races. What's your expected T1 points on F1 Fantasy Tools without chips? We can look at that. I've forgotten to link my new accounts, so I still don't have the premium. Look at me. I don't even have the things I'm advertising. That's because I've been on the Patreon before. Let's see. Team... what are we doing? Team Calc. Yeah, I mean, it's saying Mercedes, Ferrari, no surprise there. I mean, just let's just click in the team, shall we? This is my team. 203.8 points is my expected points, non-limitless. Versus limitless. Saying Piastri and Norris here. It's a slight difference. Oh, let's... there it is, 317. So that's a delta of like 110 points. That's pretty good. That's actually really, really good. Especially calculated this early. Yeah, I mean, Russell's just so high in the predictions. Why not Piastri over Norris? I haven't decided yet. It could be Piastri. I'm just leaning Norris because he's a bigger differential, and because surely now that they've fixed his car, he's not going to have issues again. Yeah, this delta is good. Like, anything above 100 points is a great delta, and usually the points here are slightly, like, lower than what they should be. Should I swap Len for Law or Bortoleto for Hulk? I wouldn't swap Bortoleto for Hulkenberg. That feels like a waste of a transfer. I'd rather save transfers. I mean, I'd swap Bortoleto for Lawson if you could. I wouldn't sell Lindblad to Lawson either, unless, like, you want to. But I think that's a... Unless, like, that's your one free transfer, I guess. High range just got here. Are you set on Limitless? I am set on Limitless, yes. I'm using Limitless. I haven't seen practice. Is McLaren faster than Red Bull? Yes. Red Bull's not even close. The question is not whether... I still think that Ferrari are faster in race trim. But I do think that McLaren are going to out-qualify Ferrari. Only to get past then on lap 1. I've got the same team except I have Lindblad, not Ocon. Should I use one of my 3 transfers to swap anyone or just run Limitless without any swaps? I mean, if you run Limitless, no swaps happen. But I think if you have Lindblad instead of Ocon, that's totally fine. That's definitely a Limitlessable team. What about putting both Lando and Oscar and leaving Ham out? I don't love it. I know Hamilton has been complaining a lot about the setup. So it's not maybe not the dumbest play. You can definitely go for it. I think it would be a bit of a differential, but I just think I haven't seen enough from the race trim of McLaren yet to convince me. Which team are you using Limitless on? My team 1, my main team, the one that I'm featuring on the channel. I have 3 teams, so team 2 is just running this, right? It's just building budget with this, and then team 3 is building giga budget with Haas and Racing Bulls. So it's just running this. 19.3 million in the bank. I've already made transfers on these 2 teams. My budget building team had Bortoleto, so my budget building team is using Limitless in... so this team has already used Limitless. It used it last week in China. My team 3 is using Limitless in Monaco because it had Bortoleto, so I've already made the transfer to Bortoleto to Lawson on my team 3. And this team is just budget building like crazy. Who do you put the 2x on the Limitless team? It's definitely Russell. No Colapinto for budget building. Colapinto's fine. It's not a must-have, but it's not one that I would rather transfer in Lawson. Again, if you have Bortoletto, if I had Bortoletto, which I did on my team 3, I would not Limitless. But it could be a good play. You're just acknowledging that you're holding Bortoletto for a while because he's probably dropping for the next 2 races. Kimi or George goes Russell right now. On the 2x, it's Russell if you have him. Alright, let's do F1 Predicts. There's a lot of good questions in chat. I definitely got swept away time-wise. Alright, Japan. Thoughts on Hulk? I think everyone's going to have him next week. Which is in 5 weeks' time. Those are my thoughts on Hulk. You have Bortoletto, I'm still planning on Limitless because I don't know what will be happening for Monaco. I mean, that's valid. It's fine, but Bortoletto is dropping in price. Why Russell over Kimi? Because I think Russell would have won last time if he didn't have the issues that he had in qualifying. So... competitive order could change. Yeah, that's also one thing speaking for using Limitless now. Why'd you remove Hamilton for the budget building team? Did I remove Hamilton from the budget building team? I don't think I did. I don't think I've had Hamilton in my budget building team. Am I crazy? I can look at that in a second. Hamilton might go up in price. It's not guaranteed though. He's pretty likely actually after last time. It was yeah. Hamilton needs 10 points, so he's probably going up in price. Oh, why I'm removing? Why? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I had triple driver, right? Yeah, because I wanted the budget building, and I feel like I wasn't budget building to my fullest potential when there's so many good assets increasing 0.6, whereas Hamilton is increasing 0.3. I wanted the 0.6 million. I don't care about the points in that team. Anyway, we're considering no negative here. No, I don't think no negative is the play today. If you're using no negative is perfect for Miami or Canada. Are you doing driver rankings today? I should do driver rankings today. You are correct. I have not prepped it, though, because I'm a bad streamer. Alright, let's do this. Podium. Boom, boom. That's a lot of points. Pole position. Yoink. Which driver qualifies for the Grand Prix highest? Behrman gives more points, but Haas don't look great on the 1 lap pace here. I'm gonna say Hadjar, actually. I'm gonna say Hadjar. How many teams will get a driver into Q3? I always hate this question. 2 McLaren, 2 Ferrari, 2... There's going to be 6 teams. It's the least amount of points, but we'll go 6 teams. Which team will set the fastest pit stop time of the race? This is also just random. I usually just select Ferrari and hope I get it right. Who will set the fastest lap time of the race? This is also super random. I'll go for George Russell. Which driver finishes ahead in the Grand Prix? How will the midfield battle unfold in Japan? 25 points for Bortoletto. Yeah, Red Bull quali is fine. I don't mind the 25 points for a cheeky Bortoletto P9. Or I guess P8. 25 points. But let's be real, it's probably one of these two. It's not Sainz, that's for sure. I'll go Lawson. Screw it. I trust Liam Lawson. Will the safety car or VSC be required during the first 10 laps of the Grand Prix? Yes. I think so. One car is going to break down at least. How many classified finishers? Ooh. Am I crazy for saying like a high amount? Let's say 18, huh? Only 4 drivers DNF. Massive 25 points if I predict 20 or 21, or if there's only 2 cars DNF. I mean, both Aston Martins are DNFing. 10 points for 17. I'll predict 18. This is also kind of random. Which of these teams will score the most points over the weekend? McLaren. Clear decision. Aston said they plan to finish the race. Press X to doubt. Alright. Where am I in the league, actually? Make sure to join my league, guys. DDR, currently top. 50% accuracy. 53% accuracy on P1. Only 35% accuracy on Rorskenland. Rorskenland. But still 7th. That's pretty impressive. Some high-scoring correct guesses, I assume. I'm 31st. 40% accuracy. Kind of terrible. Middle of the pack. Make sure to join this league, guys. We'll go back over to F1 Fantasy. The real game that we're here for. Where's everyone out in the Global League, by the way? How's everyone doing? 2 races in. This is by far the best start I've ever had. And it's not even close. Because look at this, guys. Global League. My team 1 is 47,574. This is by far the best my team 1 has ever been. Like, last year, I think all my teams were, what, like, at least 100,000 plus. Team 2? Team 2? League codes are both in the description on in YouTube. My Team 2 is insane. But my Team 2 has used Limitless, to be fair. My Team 2 had, like, the best possible team in Week 1. At least one of the best starting teams. Not the best one with Russell and Leclerc, but, like, the second best team possible. And they used Limitless. $1,300, that's insane. 2,855. I think there's some high ranks among the engaged community. Should we look at the AI teams? What was the link for that again, Babel? Oh wait, I have it. I found it. Let's see what they're doing. So this is materiai.com/F1. It's an AI Formula 1 league. And I think it's pretty interesting to see how they're doing. Gemini is getting schooled right now. Claude is top 7k global. ChatGPT's 16k global. I mean, they're all doing pretty well. Let's be real. But 3x used here for Gemini. Limitless used for both of these two. So obviously that's you know, you gotta take that caveat with it. Thank you, Alexi, for the subscription on YouTube. Guys, if you're watching the stream right now and you aren't subscribed on the YouTube, like, what are you doing? What more do you want from me? You're up at 5 a.m. in the morning watching me talk about F1 and AI teams. Just subscribe to the channel. Like the stream while you're down there. We have, like, no likes. And maybe I can hit 5k at some point this year. That would be pretty cool. That's the goal, at least. That's the goal. Are you still confident on 2x Russell over Antonelli? Yes. I am. Alright, let's see what they're doing. I'm curious to see if Gemini is gonna Limitless here. This is false. The mathematical masterclass would have been put in on Antonelli. Japan. I guess they're just looking at each other. Like, they're specifically trying to... Yo, Yakov! Thank you so much for the membership on YouTube. Welcome. If you want your team rated, make sure you to link your YouTube to your Discord account and join my Discord, because you now have access to the members-only channel where you can put your team submissions, which we will do in about 30 minutes' time. Coolio. They're changing Charles Leclerc to Hamilton. Pure budget optimization play. Sure. And they're upgrading Bortoleto to Colapinto. Ferrari Racing Bulls. Oh yeah, because this is a Russell Hamilton team. Or Russell Leclerc team. And as a Russell Hamilton. I mean, yeah, they're not using Limitless because they are on... what's it called? They're not using Limitless because they had Bortoleto. I'm going to be really curious to see if Gemini pops Limitless in Monaco, like a real pro, or if it actually like just uses it in Miami or something. This is the one I'm following, because this is the one that's using the strategy that I think has been the best so far with the 3X. I think the Limitless was okay in China, but it definitely could have been way, way, way better. Not so interested in these two, if I'm honest. Though Claude has already switched to Mercedes Ferrari. Interesting. No Behrman. Bottas, Perez, Colapinto, Lawson. It's gone all in on the points. Claude is going to fall behind on budgets, for sure. You forgot Grok? This is not my page. This is not... I'm just looking what's happening. So, this is not my thing. This is not my thing. I just think it's really cool. And I like that they're fighting each other. So, this is not my thing. I'm just an observer. I'm just an observer, just like you guys are. We go back. Let's do driver tier lists. Best budget drivers to have? These. Where's my tier list? I can't find my tier list. Give me a second, guys. Projects. Is it this one? No, it's not. Huh. Definitely lost my thing. Oh well, we'll uh-oh. What did I click now? Here we go, open a new tab. We'll just do this for now. And And switch to... There we go. Teams and drivers. All right, so let's create some tiers, huh? S, A, B, C, and F. Can everyone fit like this? The new ones are so wide. Carlos, yo, thank you for the supporter, the membership on YouTube. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Coolio. And let's just add them all. I should have done this before stream, but I did lose track of time by an hour. Don't worry about it. We'll solve this live, like true professionals. Alright, who do we go for first? Spam chat. Who do you want to hear about first? Which driver tickles your fancy the most? How to get into your Discord, can't find the link. The link is in the description. Bottom of the description on YouTube. And if it's not there, it's in some video somewhere. Piastri, interesting shout. Interesting shout. What's actually Piastri's budget gain here? Ooh, yikes. That is dreadful. Piastri's a really interesting one. So, you kind of have to rank Piastri in two different ways, right? Because, as just an asset to own, he's Giga F. Like, there's no reason to own Piastri. If you have Piastri, you have to sell Piastri. But, on a Limitless, you know, he's like probably somewhere up here. So it's a really difficult one to actually call. Piastri Limitless is up here. Piastri non-Limitless is down here. So I don't actually know where to place him. What are we like? What are we interested in here? Like, what are we actually interested in here? Or interested in here? Assume Limitless. I feel like I have to add like a caveat to it, like a little asterisk. And even then, I think he's a B tier. Cool. Piastri with an asterisk. Limitless asterisk. Next up. Hulk. Hulk is interesting. Hulk is very interesting. I hate how the Audi and the Ferrari red are basically the same color, but not really. They should have made the Audi color more discernible. Or the Ferrari color more... like, one of them should have been darker. That's all I'm saying. I also hate all of these blues, but, you know, we can talk about that later. Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg is dropping in price to 5 million. And then, if he doesn't DNF this time, he should be on for price rises in Miami and onwards. In Miami, he's going to be a fantastic option. If you're already on him, like, maybe you could sell him if you can afford the sell. But I don't think he's a must sell, and he actually looks pretty good points-wise this week, right? With Audi actually having some pace. I'm gonna put Hulkenberg in B tier, actually. Surprisingly. Bortoletto, because we'll talk about him, I think he's worse. I think he's sort of the same thing as Hulkenberg in terms of, like, he's gonna be good in a while. But because his DNF was in China and not in Australia, that means that he is on for, like, an additional price decrease afterwards. And he's more expensive now. I think Bortoletto is a great sell this week. And it's one of the reasons why I wouldn't use my Limitless if I had it. Or if I had him, I would not be using my Limitless because of him. Are you limitlessing? Yes. Make 2 picks and I think that with Limitless and without Limitless? No, that's too much work. That's too much work. Lando. I mean, Lando's like similar to Oscar, right? He's also just B tier. It's very much like Limitless versus non-Limitless. Ferrari. I mean, both the Ferraris are just A tier. They're great options. If you have them, you have them. If you don't have them, you don't have them. You know, they're great on Limitless. They're great without Limitless. I'll add a little asterisk on Lando as well. Cool. Kimi. S tier is kind of reserved for the must-haves, right? Is Kimi Antonelli must-have? I don't think Kimi Antonelli is must-have if you have George Russell. But I think you need to have one of these two. So I'm actually going to put both in S tier, not because you have to have both, but because you have to have one of them, if that makes sense. Yes, I don't think Kimi Antonelli is must-have, right? Why Limitless this week instead of a sprint week? Because of the Delta. I talk about it a lot in my chip guide video, so you can check that out. George is not S tier because of the price? I disagree. I think George is S tier just because of him scoring 40 points every week, guaranteed. Put them as 1? You kind of could, right? You kind of could. When you factor in the price, I do feel Kimi is a must-have price considered. Sure, but if you're on like a Leclerc plus, if you're on like Russell plus Leclerc, you don't need to sell Russell to get Antonelli in. You know what I mean? So I do think Antonelli's really good, and for you know his price, he's probably better off than George is in a way. But I think they're good. Higher Cena with Driver of the Day too? Yes, he does. But I think George is more consistent. Russell will never win it. Yes, he will. Russell will never win Driver of the Day, but I think Russell is definitely on pace for fastest lap most weeks. So I think Russell is just on a solid 40 points every week, and sure, Kimi will pop up with like a 55-pointer every now and then. But most of the time, Russell would be ahead of him. Let's do Colapinto. If I put Hulk in B, I have to put Colapinto in A. Let me think about this for a moment. I mean, there are 2 clear S tiers in terms of the cheap constructors, the cheap drivers. Let's actually go by this now. Yeah, Ocon and Perez. Like, Ocon and Perez are good, but... Alright, the must-haves. Oliver Behrman is clearly S tier. Liam Lawson, clearly S tier this week. Fantastic options. You cannot go wrong with them. And then we start getting into the A tiers. I need to restructure how this tier list works because it's not going to fit all the drivers. Where are they? Checo's A tier. Colapinto's A tier. We're not going to talk about these guys too much. I mean, I should definitely put Ocon the highest. Ocon is very close to being S tier, but he's not quite there. It's refusing to be exactly correct, and I hate it for it. whatever. That's fine. These guys are just good. I said thinner. Norris or Piastri on Limitless or just coin flip? It's kind of coin flip. You could even put Max in there. I'm gonna do Max the same as these guys. It's refusing to cooperate with me, and I'm losing my mind. There we go. Max is also Asterix. Asterix as in on Limitless. If not, it's their F. The asterisk means that they're F tier if not Limitless. I think Signs, good for price gains, but not much else. Same for here, and even then, like, they're just too expensive. I wouldn't go for any of them right now. But they are B tier. And then we start getting into the garbage. Hadjar, garbage right now, could be good later. How bad is Albon? Hadjar's minus 39. What am I talking about? No. I'm so sorry for speaking out of term. Hadjar's dog shit. Sorry. The driver, Hadjar's fine. It's just Hadjar, the asset in F1 Fantasy, is truly, truly terrible. Bottas, truly terrible. There's no reason to own him yet. He's going to be good later on for a budget enabler, but I don't think you need it right now. There are definitely teams you can make where you don't have to have them. Albon, garbage. Stroll, garbage. Alonso, garbage. Boom. That's the tier. That's the tier list. I know the Alpine boys are getting cut off a bit here, but deal with it. This is the tier list. It fits kind of well. I just need to make it a little bit smaller. Something like this. Boom. 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 And boom. That's the tier list, baby. Only 5 submissions. That's making my life easy. All right. Team submissions in 10 minutes. Will there be... Does anyone know if there's going to be FP3 sims? I'm assuming not, but... team submissions in 12 minutes. 12 minutes. Nipsus on... or Nipsis, probably. Nipsis on Twitch says Norris or Piastri Limitless, just coin flip. I think it's a coin flip. Anyone could work. It could be the correct play. One of them DNFs, and you look like you're the idiot, basically. Cryoxis says, which do you think is better, VCarb or Haas? I think it's close. Haas has been the better one so far this season, but it's I wouldn't make a transfer to change one or the two. If you're buying one of them this week, again, I don't know why you would do that this week. I think if you're on something else, you just kind of hold it until next week. Or, you know, in 5 weeks' time. Because there's going to be so many upgrades there that, especially in the midfield, could change a lot. So, if you have VCarb right now, I don't think you should change it. You've only used 1 of 3 free transfers. I could swap it. I don't know which is better. I don't know either, to be honest. Since you have 2 more transfers available, you could do one. Will you swap Lindblad for Ocon? No. Behrman in Limitless? It is an option. I'm not saying it's the option, but it is an option. Is Max not good? He'll rise and get points? No. Max is not going to get that many points. Save a transfer is definitely the goal. If you're not using Limitless the week, you're saving a transfer. Because we do not know what's happening after the break, right? We're having a 5-week break. McLaren are bringing upgrades. Every team's bringing upgrades. Things could change crazy in terms of the the position on the grid from now until Miami. There's no way you make large sweeping changes to your team. And for Cryoxis on Twitch, asking the question. I think the answer is you don't switch, because the main reason you're owning them is not points. It's budget. Both of them are increasing in price no matter what, so you don't need to worry about that. And VCarb is cheaper, meaning that it's probably easier for you to switch to some of the teams that you want. Maybe you're forced into keeping Haas or VCarb for another week, but if you have VCarb, you at least have more money in the bank, so you can maybe do something else with it. I don't know. I think I would just stick with VCarb. I don't think I would make the switch. There's no saying, like, the, you know, Haas is going to outscore VCarb this week. Vote on Limitless, Verstappen versus Piastri versus Norris, or Behrman. I think we should actually make a poll of this, because I do think that this is a very, very common question for today. Fifth driver on LL question mark. Is it Verstappen? Is it Piastri? Is it Norris? Can I only make 3? Oh, here we go. Or Behrman. Boom. There's the poll for you guys. Please give me your input. And while you're there giving input, make sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Yeah, cool. That's all I wanted to say. A lot of Piastri votes. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, surely he has to race now. Is it not a good time to zero knowledge of what's going on? You're fine. You're gonna be fine. You're late today. Show your team. I will, Aporv. Here you go. But it's gonna be Limitless in a second. It's gonna be Limitless in a second on Team 1. I'm just gonna pop Limitless here because I'm definitely using it. There's no way I'm not using it. The question is just which driver I'm using. Which is my 5th driver. Everyone seems to be saying Piastri right now, which is pretty funny. Oh, I could make a little nice looking structure here. This looks good, right? I'll put Piastri in there for now, just to make everyone in the poll happy. But I'm personally leaning slightly more towards Norris, because I'm hoping that his car is fixed now. Ryther's typing, boys. You love to see it. Okay, we're holding off on team submissions until Ryther has posted whatever he's posting. Limitless on all teams or main? I'm using Limitless on my main team only. On my team 1. My team 3 is not set up for it because it had Bortoletto, and my team 2 already used it last week. Sims coming, or it's a message that there will be no Sims? Free practice Piastri was better? Yes, but I don't think there was that much between them, if I'm honest. Is this your best team? Technically, my best team is Team 2. Because it's top 2k in the world. Why is the game being goofy? Boom. 2x on Kimmy? No. I love the refreshing. Same, Nixie. Same. Would you do a Limitless with Russell, Leclerc, Behrman, Lawson, Lindblad, Ferrari, Racing Bulls? Yes. FP1, FP3 were close, but Oscar led by half a second. FP2, similar track temps to quali and race. Good point. I mean, the truth is I might just go for Max Verstappen, expecting him to drop 8 positions at the start and then overtake everyone again. I have Bortoletto, should I Limitless? I would not. If you have Bortoletto, I would sell Bortoletto. And then Limitless in Monaco. That's what I would do. And that is what I'm doing on Team 3. Limitless with both McLaren drivers? I would not do that. I think Ferrari are just better race trim than them. I have not seen enough of them race trim-wise to suggest that Ferrari wouldn't just clear them off the line. Sail away. Kimi, Leclerc, Behrman, Ocon, Lawson, Ferrari, Haas. That's literally the team I had. So, yes. The answer to that is yes. Because that's exactly the team that I had. No, I'm only doing the Limitless on Team 1. Team 2, I've already done Limitless on last week. And Team 3 had Bortoletto, so I'm saving the Limitless for Monaco. So I'm spreading my strategy out. Yeah, I actually agree, Nixie. I think the free practice sessions have swayed me towards one of the McLaren guys. I just don't know which one. I like the fact that Norris's car has just been fixed, you know what I mean? And also, like, Piastri has not had a race yet. Right? Is that crazy to say that that's a, you know, downside? What was happening on yesterday's video with the Limitless chip? The one where it was flipping back? It's just the page auto-updating all the time. Have you considered double, triple McLaren versus Ferrari? No, I've always been on triple Ferrari. I think that was just some panic yesterday. But it's not like McLaren have been far away from Ferrari on one lap pace. But I've never been off triple Ferrari. Yes, your face was incredible. It was my genuine reaction. It was my genuine reaction to the flipping. Piastri driver of the day play for a good race likely. You're kind of cooking with that, actually. Yo, Trevor's kind of cooking with that. People are already tired. I mean, maybe Kimi Antonelli gets it for a win, but Piastri finishing his first race of the season. I think there's a lot of Piastri fans that have been upset so far. Yo, Trevor might have been the swaying vote here, even though 63% of you said Piastri in the poll. I honestly can't believe there's more people on Verstappen than Norris. But I guess there's like a McLaren versus Red Bull camp here, and most of the McLaren camp is on Piastri. Sims out! Absolute cinema. Yo, Trevor actually fully swayed me. I'm not even joking. I was like 52% Norris, 48% Piastri. And Trevor just fully kicked me over 55% Piastri, 45% Norris. Because that is actually... Because Norris is super unpopular. Norris is not getting driver of the day. And catching driver of the day is actually kind of important. Especially on Limitless. Alright. Let's end the poll there. 173 votes. Big win for Piastri. This is probably the biggest win I've had in one of my polls. Usually when I ask these polls, it's like 52%, 48%. Do I change Lawson from Limblad? No, you don't have to. You can if you want to, if you have a transfer to spare. Yeah, let's do FP3 Sims, guys. Let's, So, FP3 Sims. Okay, it's still Mercedes Ferrari. No surprise here. Let's do 105 mil. That's my budget. Let's actually check budget here on this team. Yeah, 105.5. Yeah, it's saying Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Behrman, Lawson, Hulkport. Let's go by points, but let's include Ferrari in there. Interesting. I mean, this is kind of what I'm on the other team, right? But with Russell over Antonelli. Yeah, because Antonelli's literally guaranteed 0.3 million increase. Whereas Russell's mostly guaranteed. Sims is putting Piastri as well. Let's do with Haas in there. Haas and Vika are pretty close, though. With Haas, it's Ferrari, Haas, Russell, Antonelli. It really likes Hulkenberg for points, but obviously Hulkenberg's terrible for price increases. Behrman and Ocon on a 10-point prediction is insane. Limitless chip. They're saying Piastri, 19 points. It's not a lot. Verstappen, 15. They've upped Antonelli's points quite a bit in FP3 sims compared to FP2 sims. 285.7 points. Oh, it's still Haas, lol. 327 points. 327. 327. This is my team. 327 to 211. That's still a 115 point delta. That's pretty good. Kimi's expected points are crazy. Yeah, they've really shot up Kimi's expected points compared to the FP2 sims. New to F1 and F1 Fantasy, what's VCarb? VCarb is Racing Bulls. So Visa Cash App Racing Bulls is what VCarb stands for. Hey Ray, me personally, I don't like McLaren because they will most probably be stagnant in race versus Verstappen. Will probably start back and improve in spamming overtakes. Yes, that is also what I considered, and that was definitely why I was on Verstappen to start the weekend. But if there's a slight opportunity for a McLaren to steal a spot on the podium, I would like to be there for it, if that makes sense. $2x on George or Kimi, I would put it on George. If McLaren steal a podium, they will have driver of the day. I don't think Norris gets it. Norris is so unpopular, but maybe. But Piastri would definitely driver of the day on a podium. Hello, Lannister. 100 plus point delta for limit is quite decent. Yeah, especially in early sims, right? These sims are usually a bit conservative in terms of points. I think Oscar gets driver of the day if he's anywhere in the top 5. Yeah, especially if he beats Norris as well. If it's like a Russell, Antonelli, Leclerc or Hamilton, and then Leclerc or Hamilton, and then Piastri, I think Piastri could get driver of the day. Norris could get it if there's an on-track fight with Ferrari, maybe. 2x on Piastri on Limitless would be a crazy diff. Yeah, but I don't think it's that much. Let's calm ourselves for a moment. I know we're all excited, but let's chill out for a bit. Who would you pick? Antonelli plus Ocon or Leclerc plus Behrman? Leclerc plus Behrman. I just think Behrman's way too good. Behrman's a cheat code. Piastri will finish P3, mark my words. I will sue you when that does not come true. I have bet my entire house on it now. I have bet my entire house on it now. You doing a quality watch along? Yeah, of course. We'll do the quality watch along on Twitch exclusively though today. So if you're not following on Twitch, there's a link in the description on YouTube. I am live on both platforms always. And we'll do the watch along exclusive on Twitch. Behrman first podium. If that happens the weekend where I Limitless and don't own him, I'm going to be very sad. Very, very sad. Just imagine Behrman finishes P5. Yep. That definitely hurts the Limitless. Do you gotta go to work today? No. Because of the time of the qualifying, I've actually taken the day off. Which is why I was up all night playing Pokemon. So I don't have to go to work today. Usually I work Saturday early mornings, but I would already be having to head to work now, so I took today off. Yes, I did do. We have it here. Look. That's the tier list right there. But thank you for the reminder. Yo, Killer Sam, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What is the qualification for Limitless? That your team has good budget building assets in the back. So basically, if your team involves any of... if your team involves any of these 7 assets, plus any of these 4 assets, I would say that you plus any of these 4 assets before making transfers, obviously, then I would say you qualify for using Limitless. Yo, thank you so much for the subscription, Bradley Roberts. Welcome to the channel. Don't understand the asterisk. The asterisk is Limitless because so when we did the tier list, let me switch to this one. When we did the tier list, we were like, well, obviously Piastri and Norris are F tier because they're dropping in price and they're just worse than the drivers that they are priced the same as. But on Limitless, they're pretty good. So the asterisk is they're B tier on Limitless. Maybe A tier on Limitless, because they're obviously better than these guys, right? But, like, the asterisk is basically Limitless is pushing them up, because if it wasn't for Limitless, they would be F tier. Definitely these two, and Max would probably be C tier. I think if not for Limitless, Piastri and Norris would be F tier, and Verstappen would be C. Since it's an hour away and basically you know what you're doing, how about answer some questions from the chat not related to F1? We can do that like the final 15 minutes if we have time, because we're swapping over to team submissions now, because we've done the FP3 sims. Are you sure about Russell 2x over Antonelli 2x? Yes, I am. I think Russell's just a better driver, if I'm honest. And I think Russell's gonna beat Kimi. I think Russell would have beaten Kimi in China if not for the issues he had in qualifying. So I think Russell, and because of that, Russell will be in clean air. Because of that, I think Russell will get fastest lap. So I think Russell is just a more... I want to pick the driver on the 2x that I think most of the time will outscore. Sure, if you want to go for the high upside play of picking Antonelli, hoping that he wins and gets another 55-pointer, be my guest. I think that's a great shout as well, especially if you're trying to go for number 1. I'm trying to go for top 1k, so I'm going to pick the option that I think is correct 4 out of 5 times, because that's kind of what I think the Russell versus Antonelli situation is. So I think Russell is definitely just way more consistent, and Russell is not going to hit like a 55-pointer. Like, that's not happening for Russell, and I acknowledge that with my pick. But I think Russell's more likely to hit 40 points than what Kimi Antonelli is. But if Kimi Antonelli does win, like he hits a 55, like he breaks the 50-point barrier, and Russell just never does that. I think the most likely outcome is Russell ending up around like 45 points. That is with fastest lap, pole, win. That's 45 points. Would 100 points Limitless Delta be good? Yes, incredibly good. Anything above 100 points on Limitless Delta is great. I'd say good. Like if it's above 100, it's good. If it's above like 120, it's insane. Because like most mediocre Limitless are in the like 75 to 100 point range. Anything below that is terrible. And I think the Limitless Delta, it obviously depends on which meta team, because there's like multiple different meta teams. But towards my team, it was terrible. It was only like 50 points. So the Limitless last week to my team was awful. Awful. The team which you're using Limitless on right now is your best team. It's my main team, but it's technically not the best one. My best team is the team that's already used Limitless, because obviously it has more points. Are we doing team submissions before Twitch? Yes. We're doing team submissions right now, actually. These are some team submissions music. As always, I rate your guys' teams live on the stream. Usually it's top of the hour, but because simulations are usually out top of the hour, we do it after we've done the sims. So we've just talked about the sims for the FP3 sims, and we'll now do team submissions. Make sure to join the Discord, guys. It's where I usually post my updates when I'm live, when a new video is out. You can chat with the community, and if you're either a subscriber on Twitch or a member on YouTube, you can get your team submission, your teams. You can get priority for your team submissions. We always go through members and subscribers first. As always, though, with these submissions, I like talking about a few of them for like 3 minutes each, rather than just saying one thing about each of them. So make sure to open your ears, because if your team looks similar to someone who's posted before you, I'm not going to rate the team again and just repeat the same thing. I try and read through most of them, but most of the time I can't make it through all of them, because there's just too many submissions, right? I don't think there were that many today earlier on, at least, so we'll see how many we have now. But let's check, shall we? So it's that, and then we'll do this, and we'll go here, and priority team submissions. Coolio. Nixie is first up. Let's disable. As always, if you don't want your real name, make sure to change it when you join the server, because I do like to see who I'm talking about. So I usually disable the streamer mode. Also, boom, look, Ewan's live. Can I watch him from here? We'll see. Nixie, Limitless, question mark. If not, I can do Haas to Mercedes and Russell to Paris. But I don't really trust the Cadillac. I agree, I wouldn't really trust Cadillac. Yes, I would consider using Limitless here, especially because you also just don't have Behrman, right? But you have Lindblad, you have Colpinto, you have Lawson, you have Haas. All assets that are in the category of price rises. So if you want to use Limitless, you can. If you want to wait for Monaco, you also can do that. But I do think this is a team they can use Limitless, yes. If not, Haas to Mercedes, Russell to Paris. I would not do that now, because things could change in Miami. So if you're not using Limitless, I would kind of just chill. Like, I would be comfortable sitting on this team and not doing anything else. Yeah. That's my honest thought. Like, yes, you could go Mercedes here, and you could go Checo here. And I think it would work out for you points-wise. I think you would get more points by doing that. But I think you're less flexible for after Miami, and I think that's worth a lot. Is your Discord free or members only? It is free for everyone, but if you are a member, you have access to a separate channel where these team submission priorities are. But the Discord is free. It's linked on my YouTube, so if you go to the YouTube stream, it's linked down below. I think the Twitch one is not working for some reason. All right. That would be my tip for you, Nixie. Jakov, I see that you're a member, but you've posted your entire thing in chats. I'm assuming you can't join the Discord then. Because this is usually why we do the Discord ones, so I can see images and not have to read, you know, things like that. But Jakov will do your one as well because I see that you are a member. We'll do Celtic first though. So many options. Hope you like my past GP review. All right, we have a whole we have a whole message here. Okay. Recommend to watch, text, and picture one by one. Okay, cool. This is what I like to see. Like, this is a proper team submission. This is a proper team submission. Number 1. My past race week, 62k in the world. Nice. All looks good. 3 transfers, 104.6 mil. You're rich. Lovely. This is what happened last week. Cool. Bortoletto, unlucky. It happens. Bortoletto, Haas out. Lawson and V-Carb in. 1.4 million in the bank. Is that something you have to do? Both. 2 of 3 transfers used? Sure. Could also keep Haas and only do 1 transfer. Sure. I think this is fine. You could also keep Haas here. I think this is good. Limitless. 2x who? On Limitless, I would 2x Russell. I've already talked about this. I think Russell is more consistent than Antonelli. I think Antonelli has a higher ceiling. So if you're someone who likes playing a bit more risky, going for that high, super high upside play, I would recommend Antonelli. Me personally, that's not how I like to play the game. So I prefer the Russell pick. This is the team I would go for on Limitless. This is the team that I'm going for on my Limitless. With the Limitless, though, you do have Bortoletto. I would not use Limitless on your team. I would save it for Monaco, because I do think Monaco is also really, really good for Limitless. 4th, wildcard for 6 transfers to Merc Ferrari build, but budget with Hamilton for 1 race. Whoa, that is a crazy play. Hamilton, Lindblad, Colapinto, Lawson, Perez, Ferrari, Mercedes. I think, while I like this points-wise for Ferrari, Mercedes, how do you navigate this after... after this break, after the spring break in Miami? Like, how do you navigate this? One thing you could do, assuming that all goes to plan, right? And all of these assets increasing price, the way that this sort of like unravels for you in a great way where this is actually worth it is all of these 4 assets increase in price. You then sell like a Colapinto, Lindblad, or Lawson. You probably end up keeping Perez, I would imagine. But you probably sell Lindblad, Lawson, or Colapinto to Hulkenberg at 5 million. That frees up the budget to go from Hamilton to Antonelli. Or it frees up the budget to keep Hamilton, but going for like a Lindblad up to a Behrman. I think that's the play. So, that is kind of what you're hoping for, but that also assumes that all the standings are the same, and nothing really like major changes in terms of pace and reliability-wise across the board. Because if suddenly like an Alpine ends up being incredibly fast, you're way gone from like a, you know, Gasly build. You're way gone from like if Williams, you know, fixed their car and Carlos Sainz becomes a must-have. And that is what worries me, because with using the Limitless, you've locked yourself into what we expect to be the meta, right? With Antonelli, Ferrari, Mercedes. But it could end up not being the meta if, again, magic happens, James Vowles sprinkles some fairy dust over that Williams car, and suddenly they're P3. How do you, like, what do you do then? Or even McLaren, you know, McLaren sprinkles some of their, you know, fairy dust over the car, and suddenly McLaren are the fastest. How do you do, like, how do you get to McLaren builds? And then suddenly, you know, Ferrari are 4th fastest, and you have a Hamilton here. How do you turn this Hamilton into a Piastri? So if we didn't have a 5-week break after this, I would like this a lot more. But the highest upside play that happens with this is that everything increases in price for you. You gain a lot of points, and then you do one of these 4 to Hulkenberg, and then upgrade either Hamilton or upgrade one of the others to like a Behrman. That is like that is the envisioned best possible outcome for you. Worst possible outcome, your season's over. We move on. 5th. Bortoleto, Ocon out. Lawson, Colapinto in. Colapinto in is a shout. I don't know if it's a shout I would make. I prefer Ocon. And then, lastly, Audi in is crazy. I don't think you do that. Gamble that Audi's fast and get more points than Haas and VCARB for 0.6 million gain. How far are Audi away from an increase? 24 points. They can definitely reach that. Major gamble. Major gamble. Not my favorite, but it is a gamble. Cool. I think my favorite play is the boring one. Which is probably this. You can choose to keep Haas here if you want. It doesn't really matter to me. I see the wildcard as an assurance to rebuild after the disastrous weekend. True. That as well. That's definitely one of the main ways to play it. Alright, let's do Jakobs here, because he is a member. He just hasn't not... he just joined now. That's why it's the first option? Yeah, understandable. So, Jakov, he joined the stream today as a supporter, so we'll do his team submission here. Russell, Antonelli, Colapinto, Behrman, Lawson, Ferrari, Red Bull Racing. Top 1k worldwide. Woo! Keep, use Limitless. Russell, Antonelli, Colapinto, Behrman, Lawson, Ferrari, Red Bull Racing. Yeah, you can use Limitless. I would use Limitless. Also, if you use Limitless and you're already top 1k in the world, you're gonna be like top 100. You're actually gonna be like at least like a top 200 in the world. There's no way. This is why I need visuals, guys, because I need to repeat it in my head like 4 times. So, with Jakov, yes, I think you use Limitless, and yes, I think you use it because it would be super swag to have a 3-digit, like, you know, really good. Hope you liked how I made it. I loved it. I loved the Celtic. It was great. Alright, that's my tip for you, Jakov. I'd say yes, use Limitless, just because it would be really cool to be, like, top 200 in the world. Limitless with Behrman? Ah, you're crazy. Absolute savage. I will think of you when Behrman gets that P5 and that 30-pointer, and I'm sitting there with a 15-pointer from Piastri crying my eyes out. Alright, team submissions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's going to be difficult. We'll try our very best. Board aficionado from the Kimi Leclerc team. The classic. Oh, Haas Racing Bulls. Woof. For 5 transfers, you can get the Ferrari Mercedes team. I got 551 points and 3 transfers. Should I use or save my wild card, or should I just remove Bortoleto and go further budget build? Interesting. I mean, you're basically on like the budget build squad, right? Bortoleto gotta go, right? Is there a way? I mean, could you go Bortoleto to like a Lawson and then upgrade one of these to Ferrari? If you have enough money for that, I think that's maybe what I'd do to mitigate the points loss a little bit. Unless you want to go full budget building, then go full budget building. Because that's what I'm doing on my Team 3 as well. So I understand the want for full budget building. I think for optimal play, you probably want one of these to be a Ferrari or a Mercedes. I don't think you cannot afford a Mercedes here, but you know, I digress. I don't think you go the full 5 switch for this. For the same reason that I said no to Celtic, right? So we just discussed that, right, with Celtic doing the wild card. This was the team that Celtic would have had, but he would have had Hamilton here instead of Antonelli. So I think, again, the biggest upside for this team is exactly what I discussed. It's all of these assets increase in price. You buy Hulkenberg, that frees up money in Miami, and you can upgrade something to Behrman. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you're done. So I think you could definitely choose to budget build for another week, but you can also do so like incrementally. You have 3 transfers. You can use 1 transfer now to get Ferrari, 1 transfer now to get Bortoleto out for Lawson, and then you still have 3 transfers after Miami, and you can then do this build but better. So I think that's what I would do. Fault XXO. We have a lot of T1, T2, and T3 here. Lost race, all chips available, T3 Limitless this week. What do we have here? We have the red and gray team over here. I mean, this is just Bortoletto out. Call it a day. Fault XSO, Ford powertrains. That's funny. I mean, you have Bortoletto on all teams, so again, I've said this a bunch of times before, I would not Limitless with Bortoletto. The main thing here for you is getting Bortoletto out. Bortoletto out here is difficult. I recognize that is very, very difficult to do. Ooh, what do Russell Leclerc builds actually do with Bortoletto builds? Let's think about that for a moment. So, there's definitely a lot of people who are on Russell Leclerc builds who are kind of stuck with Bortoletto now. What would I do? I'm obviously not on this strategy at all. On either of my teams. I mean, this one is easy. You have 7 million in the bank. You just sell Bortoletto to anyone, right? You could even go for Sainz if you wanted to. Is it just Bortoletto to Checo? How much is Lawson, actually? Could you fit Lawson? Lawson is 6.9. Yeah, you can't afford Lawson. That's the problem. You don't have enough money to go to Lawson. I mean, you do have 2 transfers then. Is it just like... Is it like Lindblad to Lawson? Because Lawson is cheaper. And then is it like Bortoletto to Colapinto? That's probably the play. That's probably the play. Flyboy just posted it. I said it before, though. I win. I think that's the play. I think that's probably the play. Because this team is really good. Haluku, submitting in normal channel, but I'm sub. I'll make sure to watch it. Thank you. Board aficionado, do you keep 3 transfers for next week if you use 2 out of 3? Yes, you do. So if you use 2 out of 3 transfers this week, you have 3 transfers the week after. You basically think about it as you move 1 transfer over. You roll 1 transfer over. So if you have 3 free transfers available, then 2 of them is basically free to use, right? No Limitless, no. I would not Limitless on any team with Bortoletto, but that's my opinion. If people want to do it, you can do it, but you kind of lock in rolling with Bortoletto for a long time. I personally think Bortoletto is enough of a must-sell that you... I would actually think it's better, like, if you had Hulkenberg here instead of Bortoletto, I would rather go for that on a Limitless play. Because at least Hulkenberg is only decreasing once and then increasing, whereas Bortoletto is probably increasing, decreasing twice. But yeah, I mean, these 2 are super simple. You can just sell Bortoletto. There's no real question to it, right? This one is more interesting, but I think it's probably like Lindblad to Lawson, Bortoletto to Colapinto. It's probably what I would do if I was in your boat. Interesting. Some meta lineups for sure. So we'll discuss them a limited amount going forward. Interesting meta teams here. Still unsure about the Limitless team. It looks great, man. I don't know what your team was beforehand, but it's probably fine. Wildcard activated on your final team. Crazy. Team 2 kind of scared about triple Haas. It could potentially go do Ocon to Lindblad. Lindblad to Ocon is my used transfer. Oh, you went Lindblad to Ocon. Okay. Interesting. I wouldn't be scared of triple Haas. Triple Haas have been great so far. I wouldn't worry about it. Their reliability seems really, really strong. Mostly meta lineups. I don't think there's too much to discuss here, necessarily. It's kind of like, you know, again, if this could be a Limitless team, right, you had Lindblad here. This could definitely be a Limitless team if you wanted to. But I also understand splitting it up and doing like 1 in Monaco, 1 now. That's what I'm doing. I don't know what's happening over here, but seems fun. Change teams to second pick or keep boasting budget before committing to Merc team. So this is the first one. I'm surprised this name has not been banned yet. They're usually pretty good at that. This team looks great. I mean, this is the team I have, but I have Lawson instead of Lindblad. So, switching to this now. I would not go for Bottas Hulkenberg. Again, keep boasting budget before committing to Merc team. 106.6 currently is kind of crazy. Yeah, Antonelli with Behrman, Ocon, Mercedes, Ferrari is kind of insane. Could you not get, like, Checo here instead of Bottas? Or do you not have enough? Is Bottas that much cheaper than Checo already? I mean, if you can get this to Checo, insane. 0.1 off. Oh, that is tragic. If this was Checo, I would be like, go for it, man. That would be insane. Because you're doing this with 3 transfers as well, aren't you? 2. You're taking a -10, actually. -10. Tip of the week? Yeah, we're gonna do tip of the week after this. You're taking a -10 to fit this. You're 0.1 away from Checo. And again, imagine you had that extra 0.6 instead of just rocking, or like even more money, rocking with this for another week. I just think it's this, and then you slam the, you know, you push the pedal to the metal in Miami. You know, hold off on the brakes. It's 5 weeks. Wait and see what happens, right? Again, this is super exciting. I would love to go for this. I think this is going to outscore this team. But long term, I think this is better. And it's safer also, saving your transfers. We have a McLaren Limitless. I don't like it, but if you want to bet on it, be my guest. Major differential if it works out. Major differential. We have more meta teams. Again, the same problem here with Bortoleto. Difficult to sell. It's Bortoleto. It's Lindblad down. You have 3 transfers, so you're fine. It's Lindblad down to Lawson. Bortoleto up to either Checo or Colapinto. Probably Colapinto. More Limitless stuff. Hulkenberg, fine to hold. We're going to move on. Limitless team. Looks great. That's what I'm doing. Leclerc, Hulk, Haas, Merc in Miami. Who was I looking for? Prickly pair. Switch out Gabby for Franco or Lawson, or maybe Ocon. I mean, yeah, that's a play. That's a play. Haluku. Where's Haluku? Alright, Haluku's down here. Cool. Dumping Lindblad. I like dumping Lindblad on... Which one was it? I know we're moving pretty fast here. Dumping Lindblad to Lawson to afford to upgrade Bortoleto. That's what I would do. Alright, we've seen most of these before. I'm sorry, I'm going to skip over a few. We'll do Haluku now, because Haluku is a subscriber on Twitch. -10 or not -10? The answer is not -10, and I have not read your thing yet. Can't seem to upload image. Unlucky. Can't find priority channel. That's because you have not linked your Twitch to your thing. Because if you have your Twitch and your Discord linked, your name should be purple here. So make sure to link it in like your settings or whatever. Leclerc 2x, Lindblad, Berman, Colapinto, Paris, Mercedes, Ferrari, or -10 with Antonelli, Lawson, Berman, Colapinto. I would not take the -10. I would stick it. I would stick with Leclerc. Lindblad, Berman. Berman is really good with Mercedes, Ferrari, Paris, Colapinto. Yeah, it's a great lineup. I don't know how you can afford this, but yeah, stick with Leclerc. You can get Antonelli later. You can get Antonelli next time. Again, it's the same. It's the same as what I talked about with Celtics and where is it? This one, right? Yeah. The highest upside that could happen with this team is essentially in Miami, when Hulkenberg is down to 5.0 million, you sell one of these 4 to Hulkenberg, and that frees up like 2 million for you to either upgrade Leclerc to Antonelli or upgrade one of these to something else. I would not go for the -10. I think it's better to save transfers. All right. I think there's mostly some structural things here. Ooh, wee. Here's a new one. Max Verstappen. Howdy, howdy. Very interesting. I don't think I trust Max Verstappen. If you trust Max Verstappen, be my guest. You need to get Bortoleto out somehow. You could do the same thing that we've already discussed. You know, you could go Lindblad down to Lawson, Bortoleto up to Checo or to Colapinto. But you could also downgrade Max Verstappen here to like an Antonelli. And that gives you enough money to upgrade Bortoleto. Cool. So, sub chat is... Okay. Since some people seem to have issues with it, if you're a YouTube member or a Twitch shop and you have linked your Discord to your... wherever you're subscribed to, you should be able to see this. You cannot see this if you have not linked it correctly. You do not see this. Okay? So this is the supporter chat, and this is the priority team submissions. And everyone who has subscribed to the channel or is a member on YouTube will have a purple name. Or a purple name if you're a member of Twitch, or a green name if you're a supporter on YouTube. So it's very easy to see if you have linked it correctly or not. You checked it, the link, we'll recheck. Maybe it takes a while. I don't know. Am I crazy? Did the Discord have a voice channel before? I think it's possible that it did have a voice channel before, but I could add one again. Alright, that's gonna be it. We're gonna do... that's it for team submissions. Thank you so much for all the submissions. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of them, as always, but I think we've discussed all the major talking points. We're gonna do tip of the week now, and then we're gonna chill until it's time. We have someone spamming here. I'm so sorry. I read most things. You are unfortunately gone, my friend. Sorry. And the reason why I have not read your thing before is because you've posted your entire chat, so go to the Discord next time, okay? You are in timeout until the next stream. See you, buddy. Yeah, holy spam. He's gone now. So sorry. Sorry that I was not on. Yeah, great. Listen, we have team submissions for a reason. You can submit your team there. If you spam, I'm not gonna read it, okay? It's okay to post things like 2 or 3 times. That's not okay. So you're gone until next stream. Sorry, buddy. Alright. Let's do tip of the week. Let's end this on a better note. Every deadline stream, we do tip of the week, guys. The tip of the week is never wrong. You know this. And usually, if you have been watching the stream, you should be able to figure out what tip of the week is. He was in need of help. I know he was in need of help. But that's not how you get my attention. I mean, he got my attention, but in the wrong way. You know what I mean? If you spam the chat, I'm gonna not want to help you. Like, that's how, you know, you get my attention, but not in a good way. Okay. Tip of the week was very good last time around. I agree, it was very good last time around. More likes on the stream for tip of the week. That is correct, Mr. Drago. What are we at right now? I'm gonna be honest, I've not looked at the view count once this stream, and it's actually pretty refreshing. 234, that's pretty good for early in the morning. Thank you so much for your support. I can't wait for the European season. I know everyone who's not from Europe is like, thank God we can watch F1 in a normal time. But the European streams hit different once we get to those. So I'm super excited for Monaco. We have 98 likes on the stream right now with 260 people in here. We can at least hit 60 more, okay? We can get to 150. 200 of you in the chat currently who have not liked the stream. Guaranteed. 200 have not liked the stream. We need 50 of you. 1/4 of you to just scroll down, like the stream. We can definitely reach 150. $115. Keep going. Can we do it before the drop, guys? 133. The drop is soon. Here it comes. 139. You didn't make it. We gotta go again. We gotta go again. 148. You missed the drop by like 10 seconds. We gotta go again. There it is, 151. Artificial drop. Don't worry about it. Alright. Put your predictions in the chat. We'll do it now. 157 likes. Thank you so much for the support. After this, we'll do a watch-along of the quali over on Twitch. So make sure you are joined over there as well. Predictions for tip of the week. Put them in chat now. Your final chance to be the guy who predicted tip of the week before it happened. Tip of the week is chill out. We're going on spring break. Chill out, we're going on stream. Like, don't... Okay, keep a transfer if you can. If you use Limitless, lovely. That's great. Limitless is fantastic this week. At least in my opinion. But you don't need to do anything crazy. Don't uproot your entire team. Don't change, like, the entire lineup. Just chill for a week. Make a simple, like, keep it simple, stupid. You know, that's that. Keep it simple. There you go. The classic. The classic saying, keep it simple, stupid. I know it's boring, but it's one of those weeks. It's just one of those weeks, right? We caught Triple Aston, obviously, says Prickly Pear Games. He's correct. I'm so sorry. Let me just, Triple Aston Martin, because they're finishing a race, baby. They're going an entire race distance for the first time this season. I'm excited. Let's just remove this before anyone thinks I'm actually crazy. That's tip of the week. It is the tip of the week. Keep it simple, stupid. Yep. I love flexibility. I am a flexible man. Thank you so much for the subs as well. Before I get you, thank you so much for the sub on YouTube. Initial DJP, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. Jay Shong on Twitch, thank you so much. Killer Sam on Twitch as well, thank you so much. Tip of the week is don't spam. Or you get timed out of chat. Classic. The classic tip of the week. Alright, so we have 16 minutes. Let's take some final questions from chat, shall we? Do you not think Kimi will win? No, I think Russell will win. What about the 3x chip? 3x chip should always be used in a sprint weekend. So I don't think you used 3x this week. I think you used 3x either in Miami. If you're still on a 2 premium driver build, you could do a you could do it in Canada, or you can do it in Silverstone, or wait until the second half of the season for Sandport or Singapore. Alejandro Lomelli, thank you so much for the sub on YouTube. If you could add a chip to F1 Fantasy, what would it be? Oh, that's such a good question. That's such a good question. I don't know. I think the chips in this game is its biggest strength. I don't think any... This is my hot take. I don't think any fantasy sports game does chips better than F1 Fantasy. I think that is what F1 Fantasy has over every other fantasy sports. I think a lot of other things, such as budget building and stuff like that, it could be worked on. Its scoring is one of the worst, considering the high negatives for DNFs, the high points for driver of the day and fastest lap, stuff like that. But the chips, I think, is actually like what F1 Fantasy does the best out of all of them. Because all of the chips, apart from like Autopilot, are very engaging. They're fun. There's a lot of different strategies for it. The whole Limitless debacle is insane. You know, comparing it, you know, should we use it in the sprint, in Monaco, low overtake, high overtake, early in the season, yada, yada, yada. I just think it's such a good system. If I could add if I could remove a chip, it would be Autopilot, because I think Autopilot is 50% of the time completely useless. And if I could add a chip, what would it be? Ooh, let's get my creative brain flowing. What would I do? We already have no negative. I guess it would be some kind of like additional. I mean, it's something that gains points and not mitigates points, or mitigates points losses, because we already have mitigating point losses with no negative. We kind of have it with Final Fix as well, but you can obviously play it offensive. Same with Wild Card. So it's some way of gaining more points akin to 3x or Limitless, like some high upside play that you really have to think about when to use it. Just an additional driver, additional constructor would be kind of boring, no? Wow, that's such an interesting question. What would a good chip be? It could be like, because all of the chips kind of have to do with drivers. You can't change anything constructor-wise on Final Fix. 3x is all about the drivers. Limitless is also a lot about the drivers, to be fair, because that's the most change. So it's probably something about the constructors. Like maybe like a third constructor. You know, we have a 3x for drivers. How about like a third constructor? So like for one race, you can run a third constructor, anyone you want. That'd be kind of cool. I think free hit is too similar to Limitless, and it would confuse people. No negative, but for budgets, that'd be so hard to implement though, because your assets have decreased in price, or maybe it just funnels money into your cost cap. I guess if you want to do like a lot of cost cap things, you could do that. I definitely missed a bunch of questions. 2x constructor. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, something to do with the constructors, because most of the chips do have something to do with the drivers. So maybe like adding a third constructor for a race, or like 2xing a constructor. Something like that, like a high upside play would be interesting. Double overtake points is also very interesting. But I mean, everyone would just use it in the sprint weekend with the best overtaking track. So it's tough. 5 constructors and 2 pilots? That's a bit too crazy. I think it's better to just add a third constructor. That's the simple one. The simple one would be add a third constructor. Who should I pick for Limitless 5th driver, Max or Oscar? I'm picking Oscar, but both are viable. No budget loss chip sounds goated. No budget loss. I mean, okay, so how that would work is basically like any budget you would have lost is just funneled into your cost cap instead, because obviously your assets decrease in price. So like if Piastri dropped 0.3 million, the only way you would do that with a chip is basically by adding that 0.3 million to your cost cap. But again, that is a chip that only protects you, kind of similar to no negative. So I don't really love that. I think chips should... The no negative chip is enough of in terms of like protecting downside plays, and we all like autopilot all like also does that. So I think it should be an upside play and not a protecting downside play. Best pit stop worth 50 points. Imagine rooting for pits. That's crazy. Imagine rooting for pits. That is a sentence that I just said. Yes. Why are you picking Piastri over Norris? Piastri has no race experience with these cars. Because if he finishes the race, he could get driver of the day. That is actually the reason. I was pretty even on Piastri versus Norris. And then I'm so sorry I forgot your name. I'm scrolling back up now. But there was one guy who dropped an absolute bombshell in chat like an hour ago. And just basically said, yo, Piastri finishing the race is going to get driver of the day at Le Mans. And I was like, yes, he actually probably is. You are correct. I'm scrolling up now. Oh, I can't scroll up further. Okay, I can't find you. I'm so sorry. It was Trevor? It was Trevor. Okay, thank you guys. You guys are legends. Oh, yeah. Trevor. Yeah, it was Trevor. Trevor dropped absolute knowledge in chat. That's tip of the day. Listen to Trevor. Gambled chip, random team with no budget restrictions. That'd be kind of crazy. 2x Russell or Antonelli for Limitless. Antonelli if you want to go for like the higher upside play, but Russell if you're gonna want to go for the more consistent play. You're going Verstappen over any of the McLarens? Totally viable. I think Trevor's like the second guy who's like really influenced me on the stream from chat. Wasn't it Aporv? Am I wrong? Aporv, I feel like it was you who said some... I can't remember what it was, but it was one stream where Aporv dropped like an absolute insane, like, you should do this. And I was like, yes, how have I not thought of this? I think it was Aporv who did it before. So I think Trevor is like second guy in the Chatter Hall of Fame. What about the bad starts, overtakes, and reliability of Max? I think the bad starts for Max means he gets more overtakes, so that's obviously good for him. But I mean, surely it has to work out for him at some point. Locked in? I'm pretty sure I'm locked in. This is my team. I do not recall which stream it was. That Aporv. I think it was Aporv. It could have been someone else, though. But I think it was Aporv. I should definitely make a Chatter Hall of Fame. Every chatter has actually said something so intelligent that it swayed my opinion in chat. Behrman could honestly be the play with his reliability. It is definitely a play. Can you explain my Team 3? My Team 3 is build all budget and don't care about points until I can switch to a good enough team that I think will snowball. What about Chef Cobra said on Twitch when we talked about chips? What about something that switches your assets that lost value to ones that gained? Like a super no negative. Well, that would just, you know, switch no negative out. Can I use one transfer to get 3 next time? Yes, you can roll 1 transfer every week. Norris over Hamilton? I wouldn't. I prefer triple Ferrari, but I definitely think it's viable. If I have Audis, it's still smart to Limitless. Audi is fine to Limitless with, but I would I mean, with Bortoletto, I would not. But with Audi, I think you can. But I do think Limitless is also going to be really good in Monaco. So, yeah, Team 3 is just build budgets. I have 19 million in the bank. Ignore points. Cheap constructors for the win. Why not Ferrari instead of Leclerc for Team 3? So I'm gaining more points. Because I'm picking assets that are like guaranteed to increase in price. And I've already made a transfer. And I don't want to take a minus 10 hits. So that's why. 2x on Kimi or George? I prefer George. Alright, any other questions in chat before we pop over to Twitch to watch the quali? Can you briefly discuss Piastri, Norris, and Verstappen for Limitless? I think Verstappen is someone where you're like, okay, hopefully he gets overtakes. Piastri versus Norris was really close in my book. I was slightly leaning Norris, and then Trevor dropped an absolute truth bomb where he said Piastri finishing a race is probably enough for him to get driver of the day. And I think, honestly, it's so funny that that's probably going to happen. And catching Limitless on... catching the driver of the day on Limitless is actually kind of important, because you don't want it to go to like a Behrman or something that you don't have currently. So I'm picking Piastri for the driver of the day potential when he finishes a race. And also because McLaren looked decent in pace and could maybe rival Ferrari for a place. When are we using the 3X? In a sprint weekend, but I don't know when. It's going to be really difficult to use it this year, I imagine. We'll have to wait and see when it looks viable. Truly, I have no idea, but I think I'm going to use it in one like Silverstone or Sandvort, like one of the later ones. What's the Team 2? Team 2 is Mercedes. Like, Team 2 is... I started with Mercedes Russell, had a great first week, and now I've just transferred Bortoleto out. My Team 2 started with 266 points, an incredible weekend. Like, this was the second best team you could build. And then I limitlessed on this team because, you know, all assets increased in price. So I limitlessed and got 505 points, which was a so limitless. That is Team 2. So Team 2 has just sold Bortoleto because Bortoleto dropped in price. And it's just keeping, you know, chugging along, getting points. How's McLaren for Limitless? Good as the final pick, but I prefer triple Mercedes, triple Ferrari. Is the sub amount monthly or yearly? It's monthly. But if you have Amazon Prime, you can Prime sub for free once a month. Why not Ocon? On which team? I really like Ocon. He's on this team. On this team, it's just... because I already had Lindblad and I want to save a transfer. And I had Bortoleto here, so I preferred to get Lawson over Ocon. 2x on Kimi feeling wild? I like it. Why can I not? Oh, there we go. Alright, what time is it? 3 minutes till the deadline. It's early for you, it's early for me as well. I've been streaming for like 10 hours. My voice is well and truly gone. Alright. So, what is going to happen now is that I am going to pop over on Twitch once the deadline hits. And we will be watching the qualifying on Twitch. So if you want to watch quali with me, make sure to join me on Twitch. The link is in the top of the description. The YouTube stream is going to end when the deadline hits. Before you go, though, thank you so much for the support. Let me link you a quick thing in chat. Limitless active. Infinity symbol. Cool. And there's Piastri, my 5th driver, in hopes he snags driver of the day after finishing his first race of 2026. Boom. We drop this. Quali watch along on Twitch. Twitch now. And then we'll link the Twitch. Boom. We'll pin that. So if you're on the godforsaken website, that is twitter.com. There you go. Go interact with that. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't. We're close to 2,000 followers on Twitter. That would be pretty cool to hit. And that is the deadline, guys. Perfect as the playlist loops back to the intro song. Thank you so much for this stream, YouTube. Twitch, don't go anywhere. Prime submissions unavailable in your region. Unlucky, board. I will say, board, if you want the premium or the priority team submissions, the monthly cost of a subscription is cheaper on YouTube. It's only $2 on YouTube for the membership there. So if you're just doing it for that, I would recommend doing it on YouTube. But Twitch, I can't change the cost of subscriptions on, whereas YouTube, I can put my own price on it. So on YouTube, I think it's only $2. All right, so thank you so much, YouTube. I'm calling it now. Thank you so much for the stream. YouTube, I'll see you in a video like next week, and then we'll see when I see you again. 5 weeks, spring break. I will try and get the other F1 Fantasy guys together for a little chat, a little meta chat, at some point in April. And that will probably be like the podcast vibe, right? Like one podcast throughout the spring break, and yeah, we'll see. So, if you want to watch the quali with me, see you on Twitch. But I'm ending the stream on YouTube now. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for the likes and the interactions. It's always appreciated. Peace. All right, Twitch, it's just you and me now.